Hello and welcome back. Today in the Success Catalyst, I'm speaking to Cindi Buckley, a remarkable individual who transformed her life's direction from a successful corporate career to a deeply impactful role in personal and spiritual development. After spending 15 years in the corporate world of logistics and software consulting, Cindi made a profound shift in her early 40s to focus on helping others navigate through significant life transitions. In her late 40s, Cindi became a dedicated student of A Course in Miracle, a spiritual text that focuses on the principles of forgiveness and inner peace. And today, she continues to practice and teach these principles, helping others to find deeper meaning and joy in their lives. I feel that this episode is going to be very impactful. So, welcome to the show, Cindi.
Hi, Nina. Thank you for having me on your show. It's great to see you.
It's great to have you here. So, Cindy, after 15 years in the corporate world, what inspired you to make this change in your life direction and to focus on personal and spiritual development?
Well, the short answer is ego. The
Okay.
long answer is I got tired of people. I hold on. This is not coming up. My thoughts. Get my thoughts organized. Here we go. What happened was I was in the corporate world, my last contract job, and I was mapping business processes, how the businesses, currently work and how it can work to help work with the software they're having, and then depending on the new software, modify it. Well, what happened was I'd made this huge flow chart, and the person I was with told me that the IT manager hated the flow chart. And I thought, well, that didn't make sense because, you know, it was a pretty good flow chart, big, but pretty good flow chart. Well, what ended up happening was she later told me that the IT manager hated it. And as I was leaving, the IT manager wanted to have an exit meeting, and he said, close the door. So when I closed the door, the two flow charts were on the back of his door. She had lied to me. And all I was doing was just trying to do my job, make it more efficient for the company. It didn't matter who got credit. And I got tired of that. And I said, at the last job, I said, that's it. I can't do this anymore. The constant bickering and people always needing attention and hate it when someone else does better with them. Oh, yeah, it just didn't work for me anymore.
Enough is enough.
Yeah. So I flipped my lid and I went into uh, crystal healings.
That's wonderful. I would love to know more about crystal healing because I've been passionate about crystals myself and I've been starting a small collection myself. And now I can see behind you a beautiful collection of amazing crystals. If our listeners are listening to us an audio version, go to YouTube and watch the video. This is an amazing collection of crystals that Cindy has. So, Cindy, can you share how you now help individuals open to spirit and embrace spiritual awakening? And what are some common experiences or challenges people face during this process?
One of the major problem people have is they doubt themselves
Mhm.
because suppose you hear a voice in your head and you discard it because you say, you know what, I'm making that up. It's not for me.
Mm.
Where did it come from? I don't know. I don't trust myself. That's number one thing. The number two thing is to learn to open yourself up to spirit, to allow the information to flow. That is super hard for most people to do. And the third thing is, you know, it's hard for people to understand that they're not in control of their life. You're not in control of your life. That's a hard
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
for people to realize that someone else is guiding you. And how do you trust that they're guiding you for what's best? Because you can have guides at a higher vibration and you can have guides at a lower vibration. I'm
Mhm.
not saying the lower vibration guides are bad. Some are, some aren't. But what I am saying is they may not have your best interest.
Mhm. That makes sense. Yeah. So saying that we are not in control of our life could be misunderstood that we don't have any responsibility of our choices and we cannot really have the power to make a change. But I think my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that I need to let go of whatever the universe's plan is for me, but I still need to hold myself accountable and I still need to know what I want and know that I do have some responsibility to a certain level to do whatever I want to do and then eventually to take responsibility of the consequences. The meaning I get from what you said that I don't have a power or that power over my life is that sometimes it's a good idea, or most of the times it's a good idea to let go and to listen to your inner voice. And I think the reason why many people, the majority of people, do not trust their inner voice is that the message is usually something that would make you uncomfortable, or a difficult decision, or something quite new, or anything that is beyond your comfort zone. And that will end up in a feeling of anxiety or frustration because of the unknown, because of this uncomfortable thought. And then we end up discrediting it. And then we end up having this habit of that every time I do have this inner voice talking to me, I would discredit it immediately because the message is going to come with some challenge, with some difficulty, with some discomfort. Is that your opinion?
Yes, that's exactly true, but I'm going to take it just one little step further. Everybody has these ideas, dreams, challenges of things they want. Now, all I want to do is take you all one step slightly higher. It is not about what you want, it is about what you need. There's a difference. If you can make the step to what you need versus what you want, you've moved yourself to a higher level of thinking. You allow more kindness and compassion to come in, and you're able to not only help yourself, but to help others. Yes, you have to take responsibility for your growth, your health, but that doesn't mean you're not going to ask for advice. But remember, it's about need, not want. There's two different things there.
Yeah, thank you for pointing this out, Cindy. And talking about helping others, you've written 3 books so far: Cosmic Unity, Love Awakens You, and Love Saves You. So, what inspired you to write these books, and what core messages do you hope readers take away from them?
The first book, Cosmic Unity, I wrote reluctantly. I didn't want to write the book, but I was told I had to write the book by my guides. So I wrote the book. And that book really just starts the process of helping to open you up to your multidimensional selves, to realize there's more than just you in the universe. And it's about connecting with nature. And there's a whole bunch of different exercises you can do. They're different, unusual ones.
Okay.
Number of years later, I started reading The Disappearance of the Universe by Gary R. Renard. And as soon as I read it, I went, oh my God, I have to read A Course in Miracles. I have to do it. So I did. So I read Disappearance of the Universe, read The Course in Miracles, and did the workbook and A Course in Miracles at the same time. And I would not recommend you do that because your ego will get challenged a
Okay.
lot.
How so?
Um, yeah, it is. So what was happening was at that time I was reading those, all these inspirational sayings was coming to me, and it was I'd I'd be writing on a napkin, a piece of paper. They would just come pouring in. Eventually, I learned to write them down. Had a pad of paper next to my bedside table so that I could, because I wouldn't remember them. Um, And what ended up happening was after about 2 years, everything quieted down. And when they quieted down, I went along, did crystal healings, learned about different modalities and things like that. And then 18 years later, I woke up and said, I think maybe I should put that in the book. It might be helpful to people. And I
Yeah.
did. And basically, what the books Love Awakens You and Love Saves You are about, it's about helping you to recognize and understand the difference between love and fear, so that when you understand the difference between them, you can choose your higher guidance. You'll choose kindness and compassion more frequently, and then your life will flow better with ease and grace.
Wow, that's amazing. And that reminds me of a saying that I heard once, saying that the two main emotions are love and fear, and every other emotion is like a sub emotion of that. Is that true?
That is true, actually. We only are capable of two emotions. We have many names for both of them. Many, many, many names. But love is love, and fear is ego, and fear is things like anger, judgment,
Mhm.
subtle, even subtle little things that you don't think of as being fear. Love is kindness and compassion, integrity, humility, things that we're familiar of. We're not familiar with the fear ones. One of the main ones is if you think you're an individual, you're in fear.
Wow. Yeah, that's a deep thought. If you think you're an individual, you're in fear. And I think this is the main reason why people act in the way they act sometimes, talking about judgment, jealousy, envy, all kinds of negative behavior that we see that is most of the time subconscious and that is like all of the time caused by fear. That is the main emotion and the main cause. And I think fear is driven by ego because ego wants to survive, right? And the fear of not surviving within this universe that we see as not a part of ourselves or not we don't see ourselves as a part of it but as um, something disconnected from us or something separate. This illusion of separation, I think, is what creates fear.
Absolutely. And I like to use the jigsaw puzzle. We're just a piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
How do we help ourselves and everyone else come back to the whole and
Mhm.
put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle back together so that we have the whole? We're just here to help each other, learn lessons, and hopefully do it in the kindest way possible. We don't always succeed, and that's okay. And when we don't succeed, we simply forgive ourselves.
You've assisted people in finding the courage to make positive changes in their lives, Cindy. So, what are some strategies or mindsets you suggest for overcoming fear and embracing change?
Well, one of the things is I like to do is I have a 6 month program in my crystal healings and I'm the facilitator, the guides are the healers. I do work as well on people, but what we do is the first 3 sessions are about clearing out and balancing. You want to make sure your chakras are all balanced, your bodies, your etheric bodies, and the different layers of the body are all balanced. When that happens, then you can actually lift them up to the next level of vibration. And the higher a person gets, because love is a very high vibration. And you want to make sure that people are thinking all in that level as much as possible and let more light out. And it's an amazing experience to watch people grow. Um, I have a niece in law who suffers from a variety of different things, and I did a little healing on her. And oh my God, she's an amazing woman now. She is, head of a department where she runs nonprofit fund, tries to get nonprofit funding,
Hey.
donations. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just amazing. All this is by encouraging people to find themselves, be
Mhm.
themselves, open up to intuition. And when you do that, you'd be surprised at how much people can grow.
Yeah, how much potential there is in us that we still, like, even doing our best, we can spend our lives just trying to express a part of that potential. There's so much hidden within us, and most of the time we don't even listen to what intuition is telling us to do, and we totally forget that idea, that thought, that sparkle of an idea that could like literally change our lives just in a matter of second. So like, I want to dive deeper here with you, Cindy. What daily practices or habits do you recommend for someone looking to integrate more spirituality and inner peace and love into their life?
Well, what we can do is a couple of things. First thing I like to recommend, it's really simple. The only thing is you guys have to do it. Everyone has to actually say it. I want you to be able to say, I am always safe and protected. Very simple. It's not hard. And you want to say it regularly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say it when you're upset. You also want to say it when you're happy. Because when you're upset, it's going to help elevate you. But when you're happy, it's going to elevate you even higher. I am always safe and protected. Very simple.
I love that.
Med- Deep breaths. That's one thing that's really important to make deep breaths. And these is just a simple deep breath. There's many different ways of taking deep breaths. I just want you to start with something simple. It's as simple as breathe in, hold for a moment, and then breathe out through your nose and mouth. That way it will empty your upper lungs. You want to do that 3, 4 times in a row. Do that as many times as you want. Doesn't matter. It just will help to relax you. So say the saying, deep breaths. One of the other things is that you can do, and it's really important, is to ask your guides and angels for help. They cannot help you if you don't ask. It's as simple as saying, angels, I need help with this, XXX, whatever that is. Now, when you're first starting to do this, it's going to be a little uncomfortable and it's not going to feel like anything is happening. Don't worry, something is happening. You basically it's with you. You need to learn to accept the help. And it's going to be in a it's not going to always come in a physical way. It may come with an idea popping in your head. You might start seeing lights flashing out the side of your eyesight. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You might hear a strange voice in your head. Don't discard it.
Mm-hmm.
Start talking with it. Ask it a simple question. Just start with something simple. Should I have coffee or should I have tea this morning? And see what the answer is. Is
I
it going to
love
be
that.
coffee?
Simple.
Is it going to be tea? Just start with something simple. You have to start somewhere, and these are a few of the ideas that I have suggested.
It's like strengthening a muscle or learning a language. In the beginning, you're not really sure what you're doing, and you're not sure if the results are showing already. But like the minute you start trusting the process, and the minute you stay consistent, and I think consistency is key here. So you need to practice frequently, and the fact that you can use it really to ask simple questions, such as should I have coffee or should I have tea? What color should I wear today? And just wait for the answer and train your mind to listen. And
Yes,
then to express and prove your trust, do whatever this voice is telling you to do. The more you do what you're told, the more you can hear, the more you can receive messages that are relevant to what you want and what you need.
absolutely. And I'll just give you a little example. I was having some physical therapy on the massage table, and the um, oh, physical therapy. Oh yeah, and I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area in the United States, and we have monsoons, and it's very violent storms. And while I was there, a monsoon was going through, and I'm on the table. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I say to my guides, "When can I leave?" And
Okay.
they tell me noontime. Okay? I get done shortly thereafter. The storm has passed through, and I decide I don't need to wait till noontime. I get in the car. What I didn't realize was the storm was going in the direction I was heading. You would not believe how much water I ran through. Floods,
Wow.
very strong floods. Man, it took me probably till 2 hours to get home. Okay, it's a half an hour drive at most. The water I drove through. 2 days later, we're going to go to Oceanside, California on a family vacation, nice and cool. I have done something to blow out the air conditioner.
Huh?
We head to the shop, wait a couple hours, we get there early. They can't fix it. We have to drive through the Mojave Desert in Fahrenheit at 120 degrees. So that's at least 50, 60 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
No air conditioning.
Oh my God. Okay.
We come back, I take the car to the shop. Okay, so all because I didn't listen, 2 times to the shop, 8 hours, $800 later, because
Oh God.
I chose not to listen. I didn't feel like waiting 2 hours. So please, whenever you get an inspiration or an idea, or you hear a voice, or you get a feeling, follow it. Because otherwise, it can be very expensive time,
Yeah.
money, aggravation, thinking, oh my God, if oh, and by the way, that's the most dramatic one, but I've done it a few times, and now I don't do it
It
anymore.
it's great that you kept track, and I would recommend to write down like whatever ideas are popping into your head or whatever questions that you ask, write down the answer because later you need to like go back and like touch base with yourself and say, "Okay, did I follow the voice? Did I do what the answer was telling me to do or not? And what happened after?" It's a way to train your mind to tune into that frequency and to know exactly when to listen and how to act on it and to teach yourself a lesson that you need to listen.
I do like to do it sometimes the hard way. Let's try not to do it the hard way. You're still going to do it, but you don't need to be that hard, really.
Yeah, right. Now, looking back on your journey from the corporate world to spiritual and professional personal development, what have been some of the most profound lessons or experiences for you so far?
I think one of the more profound lessons for me is to really truly understand, we're all trying our best. We really are. We just sometimes don't know how to get out of the hole we dug ourselves into or the cave we've been hiding in. Or, me, I quite frankly, I love being a hermit. I do. I really like being by myself. I can't do that anymore. This is not how it's supposed to be. I've had over 60 years of really trying to avoid everything and stay by myself. I can't do that anymore. I now need to step up to the plate and, take the plunge to talk about love versus fear. Um, it wasn't easy, but I did it, and I found the more I do it, the easier it becomes, and I actually enjoy it. I love connecting with people and helping them. The feeling you get it, knowing that you can do something to help, as long as you follow your guidance. Um, you won't say anything that is hurtful. It might be a bit shocking, but the goal is for you to deliver whatever message you need to deliver and to try not to regret it if someone gets mad at you. And I have had people get mad at me, but later they say thank you because guess what? It was what they needed to hear at the time.
Mhm. Yes. That's wonderful. Um, so what's next for you, Cindy? Do you have any projects you're working on? Any new books, products, retreats? Tell us more.
Well, yes, I do have a children's book that I'm going to be working on.
Oh.
That's going to be put on hold for a little while because I am, believe it or not, My husband and I went on vacation 6 weeks ago, and we came back, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I hate the heat. I need to move. And we're just moving back to California. We lived there for a short time, and I'm opening up a retreat. And this all just happened within like 6 weeks' time. We went for a week, a month after our vacation, bought a house. We're in the process of buying the house, and then I'm going to put this house on the market, and we're moving. And I'm following my intuition, people, and I want you to know it's not always easy to go, I have to move, in the middle of all this, but I am completely calm, confident, trusting of the process, and I'm just doing it. I'm taking it a day at a time and saying, okay, I just bought a house. I'm
Mhm.
paying cash for it. I'm selling this house, and I'm going to go buy land, and I'm opening a retreat.
That's amazing. And as you said earlier, you are safe and you are protected. So
I have.
that's amazing. I love your frequency, Cindy, and I love how you trust your intuition. And thank you so much for sharing all these beautiful messages of love today with our listeners. So finally, what message would you like to leave our listeners with about finding and embracing their true path in life?
I want everyone to be able to trust their intuition. Now, if you get an intuition that you're supposed to go hit someone, no, that's not your intuition. That's fear, lashing out. No, 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 no. Intuition is always kind and compassionate. When you learn to trust that, it makes everything easier, even though you're still going to have challenges. And yes, you will. What's going to happen is your perception of the challenges changes, and you go, well, we'll get through this. I'll do it. No problem. It's like a big move to another state. I'm gonna get through it. Yeah, I don't even have a clue how to open up a business, but I'm gonna get through it. They're gonna guide me and it's gonna all work out. So, everyone, please trust your intuition, listen to it. Don't worry, you're gonna get a feeling, you get an idea pop in your head, the lights you might see. Um, it's a lot of fun once you get over the hurdle of the idea of change.
Wow, that's so empowering, Cindy. And yes, I join you in encouraging all our listeners to trust your intuition and learn to listen and learn to act on it and embrace it and know that you have this power within you as everybody else. And just as like you are strengthening a physical muscle in your body, you can strengthen this amazing gift. That's a mental faculty that is our intuition. And you talked about perception as well. And the more you trust these mental faculties, the more you can play with the situation and look at it from different angles. And sometimes we see something new, that we see the part of good that we couldn't see before. Like, hey, this situation is challenging now, but this is probably for the best, because in a few months this and this can be better, and given that change, that will be for the best. Many things happened to me in my life that I perceived first as bad news, but eventually looking back, I think that this is the best thing that could ever happen, and it happened in like a very perfect way. I just could not see it that way until it happened and until all the situation unfolded before me, so that I can understand finally. So you don't need to understand everything, just trust the process. And I would repeat what you said earlier, that affirmation: I am safe and I am protected.
Absolutely. Yes. Don't have to always know. That's a very good point. And I want to, just touch on that. It is true. I don't know how this is all going to work out with my move, but I'm trusting that it will.
Yeah, you don't need to know the how. Leave it to the universe to take care of it. To take care.
Absolutely.
So wonderful, Sydney. I really loved this episode with you. So thank you so much for the golden nuggets that you shared with us today. And thank you to all our listeners who followed this episode. I will put all your links in the description of the episode so we can know more about your retreats, your websites, your books, everything about you, if we want to connect with you. And to you, Sydney, and to our listeners, thank you so much for joining me today in the Success Catalyst. This was Nina Roberts.